Hi, welcome to the Motion Picture Notion. I'm your host, Gabriel Burton, and I'm not wearing any pants right now. Today I would like to talk about one of the scariest horror movies I've ever seen. In my opinion, this may be widely disputed amongst the horror community, but it's a little 1983 film, Sleepaway Camp. This movie is absolute artistic brilliance. Because in the early 80s, obviously, there was a barrage of slasher films, Halloween came out in 1978, and Hollywood just tried to mimic it left and right. You had, Prom Night, Terror Train, My Bloody Valentine, a barrage of slasher films, and all of them were very reminiscent of one another. The thing that makes Sleepaway Camp so freaking awesome is the moral majority of the movie is actually quite crappy. The acting is not really the best. It takes place at a summer camp, so you can't be any more on the nose of being a Friday the 13th ripoff. And it's cheesy, it's cheap, it's cheesy. There's a couple parts that are disturbing, but no more so, I would really say, than the typical slasher movie of the time. So, in essence, the vast majority of the movie is actually really just your standard shitty 80s slasher film. The thing that makes it unique, the thing that makes it the terrifying experience that it is the ending. Because of the fact that you've been lulled into this feeling that you're watching this standard, shitty, generic slasher movie, you lower your guard. You're kind of calm. You're sort of all right, I've seen a million of these before. This is, territory that I've tread time and time and time again. And then it drops a bomb on you, an absolute bomb of an ending. It saved the scare. The movie is one scare, and it saved the scare for the ending. And it leaves you with that. It leaves you with that image. Now, essentially, to those of you who are still sticking around, I don't think that I have to explain, but turns out that the quiet girl Angela, who was getting picked on the whole time, wasn't in fact a girl at all. She was a boy that the mother had basically screwed with because of a boating accident in which her brother had died with the father and stuff like that. So the mom was basically now I'm confused. Anyways, the mom was a twisted freak and basically made this little boy dress up like a girl. And so, of course, they were just screwed in the head the entire time. And I'm sure that the kids picking on them didn't really help. Directing-wise, it was really scary. That freaking face, man, I can't even mimic it. The face is terrifying. And then the wide shot, where it's like that, hunched over, kind of livid, arms at the side, almost ready to attack, almost like caveman sort of looking, freaky, wide-eyed, insanely elongated open mouth that is not CG or touched up in any way. That was all Felissa Rose. And that guttural noise, that it's just so creepy, and the music is creepy, and it freeze frames on that face, and the credits roll with that face right there. Now, when I watched this movie for the first time, I was 15 years old. I was at my buddy Kev's house. It was our sophomore year in high school, and he's like, hey man, I got this movie Sleepaway Camp, we should watch it. He'd already seen it, and he's like, I want to know what you think. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, it seems cool, yeah, it looks like a Friday the 13th ripoff, let's do this. So we're watching it, and then all of a sudden, that ending happens, and I'm left what the hell did you just have me watch? He's like, I know, right? I'm like, no, goddamn you, what was that? So then, after it was over, I had to go home. Now, seriously, this dude lived an eighth of a mile away from me, and that's not an exaggeration. You go to the end of my street at the time, there was a main road that my street interconnected with. I just crossed that road, and his house was right on the other side. Literally not even an eighth of a mile. I asked him if I could borrow a knife, and I was looking around every corner. I was walking very swiftly, but every tree, I was looking around every tree oh my God, could you even imagine if that thing stepped out? I would probably actually shit in my pants. Like it would wait. I'd get killed because my bowels would void, and like they would be holding down my pants. I suppose I could just ditch the pants and run. I mean, you know, I suppose I'd rather get arrested than killed by that. But anyways, yeah. So I mean, the whole like structure behind it, how it deliberately lulls you into this. I mean, to be fair, there is one scene in the movie that kind of comes out of nowhere, and you're like, "The hell is that?" It's the one little hint that you get as to where the story is going. Now, it is 2020, and apart from this COVID-19 bullshit, and there being no real like new movies to review or anything like that, it's also disgustingly political right now, and I hate political correctness, and I hate political correctness seeping into movies. And while it's probably generally good to keep politics out of your movie reviewing channel, it's kind of difficult to do that when there's so much politics. Now, as far as Sleepaway Camp is concerned, there's this whole thing now, okay, that it is a transphobic movie. No, it's not. No, it's not, and I will tell you why, okay? Because the thing that made that scene scary was the imagery and the editing and the sound and the filming. What made it disturbing is not simply the fact that she had a dick. That's not what made it disturbing. What made it disturbing is the fact that her sick, twisted mother, his sick, twisted mother, made him dress up like a girl and assume the identity of a girl and screwed with him. That is what made the scene disturbing. And there should be no argument there. I mean, come on, guys. Like, we live in a society where that's not even a conversation, right? I mean, seriously. Nobody out there would ever possibly try to sexually reassign their kid who hasn't even gone through puberty yet, am I right? So yeah, Sleepaway Camp's good by me. If you haven't seen it, I just ruined it for you. I mean, I still think you should see it. If you haven't seen it in a long time and maybe you didn't care for it, I'd actually be interested to hear from you. Because there are a few people that this movie didn't scare the way it scared me. So, you know, always about a conversation. That ending, like, gets to me, man. Like, and it's seared into my brain. Like, to this day. Like, if there were one thing that I were to see, never mind, like, the boogeyman from the real Ghostbusters or like, anything. Never mind Freddy Krueger popping out of my closet. That would be, that is the shit, that is the stuff of my nightmares, man. And that's all she wrote.